All right, we're back with a couple of guests talking staining. This is really different because I didn't realize that you could actually stain brick. I thought, you know, you do brick and maybe you paint brick or something like that, but I've never done staining. So I'm going to have you introduce yourself and then introduce our partner over here, please.
Well, hi. My name is Peggy Foster, and I'm with a company called Masonry Cosmetics. Actually, the company was started and developed with my husband, Don Foster, and his partner, Rick Connor.
Okay.
I think for saying who that was. We started this company over 30 years ago because more or less my husband was tired of looking at poor brick matches. Complaints, people filling in windows, they weren't toothing them in, and they were had a red brick and they put an orange because that's the best brick. Well, they.
Oh, I hate that when you're driving by and you see that.
It's right across the street. I'm looking. It's everywhere. It's everywhere, and we don't have to.
Should we go over there right now and stain that brick?
We can. We got Patrick with us. Patrick is one of our certified contractors.
You're getting paid to do that? It's all right.
Hey,
I know what we're doing after this is all over. We're going to go make some cash. I love it. So go ahead. Go ahead. Keep going.
That's one of the reasons we developed this. Don started this company, Don and Rick, is because we're tired of looking at poor brick matches.
Okay.
Another reason, well, he was also in the brick manufacturing. He started with Glengarry, which is a brickworks company, over in 1985 or 84, I believe. He started working with that company, and he worked himself up. You know, he worked at the Hanley plant, then the Bigler plant, then the Caledonia Iberia plant. He was regional sales manager. You know, all kinds of things. So he had pretty much every position there. So every time we drove somewhere, we had to stop and look at brick. Oh, I sold that brick, I sold that brick. Look at that's a competitor's brick. It's not as nice as our Glengarry brick. I mean, you know, you get that stuff all the time. Yeah, everywhere we went, it was, and my family would say, oh, are we gonna have to listen to the brick stories again? You know,
of course you do, come on.
So yeah, so he was just tired of looking at that. It wasn't necessary. We don't have to have these unsightly sore eyes, you know, on brick buildings. Brick is beautiful, and they're discrediting the beauty of brick. And then the other complication we found was after Don worked with Glengarry for many years, we left and went into business with a friend who was a brick distributor in South Bend, Indiana. So Don was the head of he was the president and the head of the architectural sales. So he would go into the architectural meetings with architects about speccing brick for the job, and they said, you know, we don't want to do the addition with brick because it doesn't match. We can't get a match. You know, this addition is beautiful. We're going to have to use a different type of cladding. We just can't find the brick to match, or we can't guarantee it's going to match. And Don's like, yeah, we can. We can incorporate brick staining. So we had Masonry Cosmetics for a few years there, but that's when it was new. People were like, we don't want to stain the brick.
So this was a new type of process then?
This was well, it's been around, people have said they've done it for years, but our process is proprietary.
Okay.
We give a lifetime warranty.
Oh, wow.
So we're keeping the integrity of brick, it's maintenance free, right? You might have to tuck point every once in a while, but that's not every 7 years like with paint. Sure. So he's keeping the integrity of brick by using our system that he developed. So we can match, we can take, for example, that we can't ever replicate size and texture, but we can replicate brick color. So this is an example. This is a brick that we stained. We usually show this as an example, which side have we stained, and as you can see, when I remove the tab, we stain both sides. So we can, as long as the brick, the main thing you have to remember, as long as the brick is absorbent, you throw water and it gets darkened, it can accept our process. But once you put our process on, by a certified contractor or using one of our DIY kits, that pigment will not come out. We go in and we bond with the brick itself. So our process goes in, it's a proprietary pigment or elixir, and it will go in and bond with the structure of the brick. So once you put that on, it's going to last a lifetime.
Yeah, Pat, now, when you're doing something like this and you're working with, is this your visual to where you're matching it, or how does that actually work for you to get it just right, to make everything consistent?
Well, basically, when we go in, first, what type of job is it? Are we doing a match? Are we doing a makeover? Okay, if we're doing a match, well, match is pretty easy for me because I'm looking at the wall that's already existing. Okay, now I got to take the donor brick, whatever they put up, and then that's where your color theory comes in. Okay, the nice thing about Masonry Cosmetic product is that there's infinite possibilities. So I'm not just basically relegated to a 6-can kit and I got to kind of mix it just a little bit and try and get it right. We have a lot of different colors, and I can get those colors down to even a pinch, okay? Or I can get it up to teaspoons, as much intensity as I want. So I really have a wide range to work with. When I'm doing a makeover, basically I'm going off the customer's vision at that point. So I'm incorporating the customer into a lot of it, what they want. Do they want the mortar stained? Okay, do they want some detail incorporated in with it? Okay, we just don't have to do solid colors. I can give you some white in there. I can give you some black, some background.
So you can put layers, different types of layers in that as well.
Yes.
We can do architectural detail too. There's a high school in Indiana called Wabash High School. And
Okay.
we put a W in the side of the building. And it's a big,
Wow.
my husband calls it a motion W. But we can do trompe l'oeil, all kind of architectural details.
When you're doing something like this and you're trying to match it, is this kind of like me going to Sherwin-Williams and getting them to match a wall? I got a wall here. This wall, I don't like the color. I want to match it. So they're going to do precisely almost computer type matching for that. But you do it visually?
I do it visually, yes.
That's amazing.
So basically I got to be like the
absolutely.
computer at this point.
It's experience, I'd imagine, at that point.
So the difference is we're not Sherwin-Williams where you go in and pick this little chip color that you want. So if you have a red brick and you want it to be orange, we add yellow. So we're based on color theory and we're developing the color. So we use the face of the brick, the background of the brick, to develop the color that the customer wants.
Well, let's just say, for example, you're on a job site and you do have to match some stuff, but they don't have any extra brick for you to work on to do anything like that. So you're up against the gun right there to get it right the first time. Yes?
How do you find a sample wall? Is exactly what he's looking for. What's an inconspicuous place for you? What's a typical place?
Well, here, you know what, as far as we do try and work off of an inconspicuous spot, but also sometimes we got to work off a spot that the customer wants to see. Is this my vision? Okay, we don't want to go back behind the evergreens where the hose is at, where we're going to do the test panel there, and we're not even seeing it from the curb.
Right.
So, but the beauty of this product is that this is a stainable stain. Okay, it's not just one shot and done like a coating. Once the coating's on, it's now
Yeah, it's sealed, no longer porous.
That's it.
You can continually add until you find that right color.
Correct.
So, I mean, I don't want to get into the proprietary. Obviously, we're not going to be doing anything. But what was the process of developing something that is so good and so permanent? And everybody was like, no, you got to go with Peggy, and this is the way to go.
Well, developing the product, if I told you about that, I'd have to kill you. So I can't do that.
Oh, yay!
But-
And I thought I was going to make it till Friday.
But how we know that this works so well is we have over 400 case studies, and that's where people who say they're us are not us. We show you the before, the directly after the process, and then 5, 10, 20 years later. We have the proof. We have jobs over 30 years, and we have documented case studies. We're also setting the standards with ASTM International, so we're setting the standards for staining, what a true stain is, brick stain is, and the application of a true brick stain. So those things are important.
This is so interesting to us because, coming from my background, so much of what we see and when people talk about stain, we're looking at remediation, right? Fixing something that's gone wrong. It's neat to hear the other side of it. It's not just problems, right? Now you can actually create something new for the architects. I mean, especially you doing this, have you had to do any kind of unique colors or anything like that on specific projects?
Oh, absolutely. Some colors that they want custom colors on there. Okay, where they actually see something that they like, but it's not exactly quite it. Okay,
No.
They may want to see some more gray in there. They may want to see some more white. Okay, because they want it to blend with their roof. They want to blend with their siding, their gutters, things of that nature. We're basically giving them a one-off. Where you're never going to see this brick anywhere else. This is actually a one custom-off brick that they've developed themselves.
Is there a way to reverse the process and start over? Can you sandblast? Can you pressure wash? Or once it's done and you have restored it and it's perfect just the way they want it, that's it?
Well, it can be it as long as the brick can still absorb water.
Okay.
In 10 years, if they made a chocolate, we can make it white. As long as we have the absorption there, it's permanent the way it is until you want to change it again with our process.
Okay.
Remember, we're not a latex, we're not an acrylic paint. We're completely different. There's a lot of companies that say they are like us, and they're not. Nobody is like us.
That's what I was just going to ask, because when I was younger, I painted as, for a job, and you had your solid color stains, you had your water penetrating stains, and, and they could put colors in it and everything, but you're saying this is a whole nother animal.
Yeah. Don't go to Menards and buy a masonry stain. Yeah. It's not a true masonry stain. It's a concrete stain. It will,
okay.
In the past, you think of painted brick as cracking, chipping, pilling, that kind of thing, and flaking. It can do that, but now they got, okay, we'll beat the system a little bit. They're watering down the paint. So now what happened is over time, and there's many companies that call themselves a stain company to do this. They use a watered down paint, and we have them in our case studies. You're welcome to look at them in the future. We document all of this. But they come like a chalky, like if it's a red building, it would come like a chalky Pepto-Bismol-y pink kind of color. So you get this color distortion, and it comes down in streaks and blotches. It just makes brick look terrible.
Isn't that, what was the term, effervescence? Or?
Yes, I know the word.
Yeah, I can't think of the word, but that efflorescence, that's when you see kind of like it, it just almost looks like the bricks are crying, honestly.
Yeah, that's salt coming out of the brick.
Oh, okay.
And there's reasons for that, but
I know we've danced around it, and I'm still trying to protect you guys, okay? but I am very curious. What makes you different? Is it the stain itself, or is it the bonding that the proper?
If she tells you, she'll have to kill you.
Well, I mean, is that the secret sauce? Is the way it holds, how well it holds, or is it the actual?
Well, how we're different? I mean, one main reason is we're not a paint, we're not latex, we're not acrylic.
Right.
A lot of them are using that, but it's our proprietary bonding agent. So we use pretty much the same pigments that you use to make brick, and then we have this proprietary bonding agent that's what takes it through and makes a molecular bond with the brick itself. Yeah.
Pat, this has got to be tough. I mean, I'm looking at bricks and I see a lot of mortar. That's got to be, small brush, nice and slow, make it right. That takes a while to do individual brick.
Exactly. See, you got to have patience when you do this. And that's challenging in this industry to actually find labor, because who uses a brush mostly? When you think brushing something on the wall,
painters,
you think painters, right? Yeah. And you think, wow, these guys are really cut out. We're really going to get some really good production. We're going to get some painters in here with some painting background. That kind of backfires, though, because what painters are used to coming in, and they want to go ahead and spray the wall right away. Oh, yeah. Cover large areas. Roll.
That was a good sound effect there. So.
But they want to get the roller out. They go, can we just cover this a little bit faster? And you can't with this. You got to actually go brick by brick. Yeah. You got to, and you might have to show a little bit more detail in one brick, some more range in another. So it does require a certain level of, I would say, patience and some artistic ability, because you want to stand back and you want to look at your wall too. Where's this going? Okay, does this actually look like a brick wall, or is this starting to look clumpy and blocky? So there's a lot more that goes into it than just actually putting the stain on the wall, because this actually, I want to add to this that also that I was a mason for 20 years, okay, and I've faced the same challenges out there that every single mason's facing as far as brick matching, and you get frustrated because you hear that there are stainers out there. Trying to get a hold of one is next to impossible, okay? We're very hard to come by, that's one thing. So I decided, one day I seen one of their ads in a local trade magazine, and I was looking it over, and I actually decided to pick up the phone and just call, okay? And at first I was suspect too. I'm like, is this really Lifetime? And they invited me out, said, why don't you come train with the product, okay? I'm like, and it was near the winter time, we were slow. I figured I'm gonna try this out.
Sure.
And the first thing I'm looking for is the tell. What's the drawback here? What don't I like about this product? And when they started going through the process, okay, with the certification, I was really blown away by it, okay? And I've been in the trade for, like I said, 32 years now, okay? And I was really, and the thing that stood out to me about the product was it still looks like the product. It still looks like.
It doesn't look fake, like it's been painted or anything like that.
And I even got up on top of it. I'm like, where's it gonna start chipping or flaking? Where can I start picking it off the brick? And I couldn't. That was a real blow-away for me, and said, this is a really great product. And that's why instantly I fell in love with the product, and I started using it to supplement my masonry business.
Sure.
Until now, until people found out I actually stain, and I started helping the suppliers out, the salesmen, other masons, to where now I just want to do this full time. That's how much I believe in this product.
It's like a painter. I mean, it's like a giant painting, and you're just taking your time and creating that masterpiece, and you're making sure.
Yeah, don't use the word paint.
Don't. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. So you're a stainer, and you know.
One stain stroke at a time. Listen, as an applicator, I do have a question. I've seen guys use different style brushes, sometimes the kind of like acrylic bristled brushes, and sometimes the foam staining. You know, they're almost pressing in to kind of give them a bigger joint or pulling out to get a thinner joint. Do you have one you prefer when you applicate?
Actually, I just use the cheap Sherwin-Williams blue brush.
The old blue brush.
The old blue brush, the cheapie is the one that's our mainstay, honestly. Okay, that's what's recommended. Now, you can ask Peggy also that there are different application methods that we do use. Okay, we may use a sponge in some places. We may use the artist brush. I just came off a project where I had to actually pinpoint with an artist brush to give it the aggregate look. So we do have different methods of application, but the cheapy blue brush is our mainstay. I got a whole box of them, so if you ever run out,
know who to talk to.
Oh my gosh.
The particulate doesn't say suspended, so we need a brush that's not going to absorb it in, but a brush where the stain will hold on the outside, because we stir, drain, then we apply. So whatever's left on there is what we use. It transfers from the brush.
Is this a continual process each time? Stir.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sometimes
wow.
you can get 3 brushes or 3 brick before you stir again. You have to figure out what your application process is and develop the range of color that you want. But yeah, sometimes it's one brush, one dip and drain again. Yeah. So it can be laborious, but it is like I did the University of Florida. It was University of Florida in Gainesville. It was their football training center. It was just mortar. All I did was the mortar in the building. It was laborious. But we did it, and you get in a rhythm, and then you get it done. But I guess it wasn't laborious. Thinking about it would be laborious. When you get in there and you get it done, it just time just
Some headphones in.
Some headphones.
Listen to a podcast.
Yes.
Like this.
There you go.
Okay,
Well
so
said.
you're keeping those particulates moving, right? To make sure that nothing drifts to the bottom. You're cleaning off that brush. What happens if you have a little bit too much and you do get some drippage? Because I imagine that's what's happening, right? You have a little too much, it wants to drip.
Yeah. So we train our guys to have water. Always have a cup of water on hand and have a wet blue paper towel. The construction paper. Yeah. Just have a wet towel with you. Actually, I hold it in my hand just like I'm holding the brush. It's right there. So that's a tool we have, and we grab it right away. But you have to get it right away, or it will become permanent. So we just dab it out.
So this dries pretty quickly.
It does.
So you got to do that brick in a certain amount of time. Otherwise you might get some, it might get a little darker in some places. You got to be real careful.
Yeah, and we have some tricks for that too, but yeah.
But you'd have to kill us if you told us. Yeah. What did we get ourselves into here? It says, Well, so anything is possible.
Yeah.
If you got brick and you're thinking about it, stain it, match it, anything, whatever. You guys are the ones they should really get a hold of.
We're the only people should get a hold of. We are proven. We have the case studies, which actually now you can call them longitudinal studies. We have real solid evidence that our process works, and that's over with the 400 plus case studies.
What's the website? Let's tell them the website.
Our website is, for the case studies, it's www.goldstandardstaining.com.
Well, that's easy enough.
Yep, goldstandardstaining.com. And our website is masonrycosmetics.com. So
Okay.
it's, easy. We also have, I should share with you, we have DIY kits. So we have 2 DIY kits. We have a whitewash kit, and we have a color enhancement kit. And that's for your small jobs, something you want, a weekend warrior who wants to get it done. So that's something, and they actually are carrying them here at Brickworks. They have them in the showroom. It's a great, if your mortar's off just a little bit, it's a great tool for a mason contractor to get.
Do they have one right here now? Can I go get one?
Yeah.
Where is it?
You want me to grab it?
Where is it? Go get it.
Okay, let me
go
go
get
get
it.
it.
We're going to talk to. I want to see it. Now that they got it, I want to see what it looks like. So now, how long have you been staining? Since you did bricks for like 20 plus years, how long have you been doing this?
I've been a certified contractor for 4 years now. Okay, this is my 4th year. This is actually my first full-time year. I decided I just want to go straight staining this year. So it's been real exciting getting out there now. So we're going to try and penetrate the market with that. But before that,
Wait. You notice how he said, penetrate the market? Nice. Well done, Pat. I like it. We wouldn't want a stain on your reputation. So, no, keep going. Go ahead.
So, but before that, I was like all the other masons that were out there. I'm getting my can of paint or my spray paint Rust-Oleum from Home Depot, you know, trying to at least get something on the brick to kind of get it to match, because there's nothing worse than when the customer's paying this much money for the product, they got a nice addition, or they're trying to do a fill-in.
Sorry.
Not only did she didn't get just one, she got two.
Well, there's two.
So-
Yeah. The whitewash kit, you know, don't watch HGTV and think you can paint your brick. You're going to destroy your brick. You're taking a maintenance-free product and creating a problem.
Excuse me. So I'm looking at this stuff, I'm like, that's pretty cool. When you look at the before and after, and you actually could do it on this side, that's impressive as all get out.
Yeah, and it's a real deal. That job is in South Bend, Indiana. When people come to train for becoming a certified contractor, that's one of the jobs we drive them by and show them. Did we show you that?
Oh yeah, I think that was one of the first ones you showed me.
Yeah.
Is
And that's
this interior?
That's really good.
Yeah, you can use it interior. So we're also VOC free. And we're not VOC free 2 weeks after you mix and apply something. 2 weeks later, you can back say we're VOC free from the get-go. Wow. So we were green before green was in. Yeah.
Have you guys done a lot of work with some of maybe the older brick homes, 1800s, 1700s? Have you been called on to help restore some of those?
We have done a lot, especially
Okay.
when they're going to put a match on or an addition on. We've done that as well. Wow. A lot of times for mortar, because the
Okay.
mortar doesn't, I mean, with this job too, we had to do the mortar as well as the brick.
Okay.
Because mortar, sometimes it's not the brick. A homeowner will say, oh, my brick aren't matching, you know, there's a problem here. I'm like, you know, when you have a trained eye, you can say, that's really not the brick, it's the mortar, and they don't believe you. So you tape the mortar off, and then they can see, oh, the brick all do look uniform and fine. And then you remove the tape, and they can see that the mortar doesn't look like it
Well,
should.
you kind of hit it on the restoration side. Some of those older buildings, when they laid the mortar or laid the brick up, the mortar was made with totally different components that we have now, different parts of the river where the sand came from, different kilns for the cement. So you'll never be able to match that color just direct with cement. So you guys are giving an option to some of those restoration buildings, you know, the 1800s and before.
Patrick would be a good resource, or our color enhancement kit. I mean, that's something every mason should have in the back of his truck, is a color enhancement kit, just to get off the dreaded punch list.
I just want to see if he has a robot eye. I can't believe he does that just visually, because, you know, if I go in, like, you know, I've gone into Sherwin-Williams to match the paint, and there's a computer in there. He's got a computer in his head doing the stains.
That's impressive.
Well, that comes from trial and error too.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, there is a lot of trial and error that goes in there. Okay, because you're working with the back of the brick also, and how much of that stain it absorbs. Okay, you may say this needs brown. Okay, but now you got to decide what level of brown it needs. Okay, what you think may be overkill on the brown is underkill. So it's a lot of trial and error that goes into it. So you usually very rarely hit it on the first brick. Okay, but you start moving through, and eventually you'll get it, and then you get your test panel together, and then you get the wall done, the house done, the building done. And that's the biggest thing, okay, is when the customer steps out. I gotta say that's the most gratifying part of my job, which I couldn't give years ago. You know, when the customer had a bad brick and they spent all this money on it and they're disappointed. You can see the disappointment. They're happy it's done, it's a great job, but it's not exactly a match. Now all of a sudden, we're able to give that to them. And that's great when the customer comes out and they're just so ecstatic. That's really the fulfilling part of the job. It really is. I know it's so cliche to say that, but to have a customer that's just so thrilled that the job, that it matches right, it's their vision, the makeover went great, it's fulfilling. It really is.
I think in any job like that, you have a customer that's so happy, you know, there's no words. It's just, you can see it on their face, and you can just be like, you know, they're probably speechless and can't believe that you've done such an amazing job to rescue, to save their project, to save their home, to save what they were working on.
And
So-
to save the environment. You don't have
and
to
to
rip
save
it
the
out.
environment.
Just stain
That's
it.
true.
Okay, let me ask you another question. You mentioned that you were working with the standards people, you know, to make sure that your product is labeled or maybe helping set standards for staining. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, are you also going beyond that and meeting directly with architects to see if this could be spec'd in the future?
Right, well, we do have a spec sheet for architects. We do have an AIA course that we can offer architects, and we developed this course because, as I said, Don, my husband, worked and head of architectural sales at a brick distributor in South Bend. And he was really frustrated, you know, when architects said they can't match brick anymore. They want to use a different type of cladding. So later we came back and he developed an architectural spec for brick staining. So we do have that. I'm sorry, I forgot the second part of your question.
I think just kind of big picture when I'm looking at this, if you're working directly with the architects, it seems like you can really save them some money and some time for the contractors. Projects that need something really unique, a blue brick maybe, something like that. Cobalt out of South Africa pigment to make that would cost a fortune to ship over here. And here you guys have a solution that quick, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple things. Colors, like universities, sometimes they want to change the color scheme.
Yeah.
So we have done that. We went in, they want to go with a new brick. Maybe Glengarry has a new color that they really like, but everything else is maybe an orange brick. So we can go in and change the old brick to match the new brick. We do that all the time. And homeowners with the, everybody wanted ebony or white. We were doing a lot of home makeovers, ebony and white. Or people want to put an addition on. And again, they would choose this brick, but it didn't match anything to what the current brick on their home was. And we're like, well, choose what you want. We can add a certified contractor to that to get you the color that you need and make it flow smoothly. You'll have the same color.
Well, you've said it 10 times. I think every time you watch HGTV, they're taking a little bit of white cement, they're putting a little water in there, and they're just rubbing it right on the wall. Fingers crossed it's not cracking off in a couple of weeks, right? So coming up with a solution for these homeowners, like you said, it's revamping somewhere they call home. You know, that's really incredible.
And that's
awesome.
great. I mean, if you're selling a house, you can use a whitewash kit or the DIY color enhancement kit. We can help you like update your brick fireplace and things like that on the inside of the house. Maybe a brick wall or flooring in the house. We can help you with that. And the nice thing about our kits is our phone number's on there 4 different places, and also on the instructions on the inside. So you don't ever have to worry about developing the stain. If you need help developing your first stain, your starter stain, we'll help you with that. So
That's awesome. Well, Peggy, Pat, thank you so much. Masonry Cosmetics.com and Gold Standard Staining. Goldstandardstaining.com. That's where you can find the case study. I think I'm probably going to go there first because I want to read what, you know, not only what was done, but what the folks are saying about it. I think that's, you know, you want to hear those reactions and you know, see what's going on for something like that.
And I think you'll like our case studies because they're done in the NCSI investigative kind of theme. So we have that theme to it. So it's kind of fun.
Good to know. All right. Hey, check it out, MasonryCosmetics.com. Peggy, Pat, thank you so much. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you both.
Hey.
Thanks.
Thank you.